Well, speaking of quaint games that tell
peaceful, lovely.
Lovely is a good word
tell
for
a
this.
tale of loss and redemption and finding your way, navigating the platforms of life to kind of rip and tear your way through America's heart.
I mean, I don't know if they give out the podcast transition awards in January, but
oh boy, I'm a lock.
I think you're sealed up.
Or we're doomed.
I played Doom.
Can you win two of them? Because you just did.
You could be nominated twice in the same category, which is what I think you just did there, bud.
But now you're going to split the vote, so you're fucked.
Mike Mahardy, Doom, the only person in the world who's played Doom, and you've got our exclusive. I don't know how we lock these up, Alex. Sometimes
largely due to my just outward-reaching charm.
You were just like it was weird because I remember having this conversation with Mike. I was like, "Aren't they making a Doom?" And you're like, "I think they are." And you just called them. We're like, "Can I play it?"
I
texted Hugo.
Yeah, and you were like, "Can I just play it?" And they were like,
"Oddly enough, no one else has asked." Yeah,
all right, that's weird. We are making this game that's coming out in like a month and a half. Yeah, come play it. So anyway, exclusive here. Don't chill out. If you're listening to this, don't tell other people. Mike has played Doom. Mike, what's going on?
That game is a lot. It made Doom 2016 seem tame, as I have been telling people.
What? You haven't told anybody.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
You haven't told anybody. This is exclusive.
Right.
That you would tell people.
Well, I've told you guys. Off mic. I'm just pretending this is spontaneous.
You haven't told me shit.
Do you not have a show called Off Mic?
No.
Wow.
Stop.
You do now.
Yep.
Stop it.
I'll start it.
Okay.
Doom Eternal's a lot. It feels like...
So wait, just real quick, which portion of the game did you play?
Right. They just gave us... So I pressed a new game, chose the difficulty, and went for as long as I could before the event ended.
So basically opening hours of the game.
Correct. And I got which was nice because that game is so much, just much like Doom 2016, it's so much about teaching you how to think about movement and how to use your entire tool set, even more than the first game. And of course, by first game, I'm going to keep saying that means Doom 2016.
We get it.
We understand that this is part of the current lineage.
Yeah.
I'm not upset with you. I'm just saying, we got to know.
Gotcha.
I am.
How does it start off? With a bang?
It starts off with the Doom guy, who you could see his face clearly through the visor now. Maybe not clearly. It's still obfuscated a little bit. It's more translucent.
Who is it?
It's Emo Phillips.
Doom guy. Doom guy.
Imagine it was just like Simon Pegg or something.
Oh God, these demons!
I don't do a good Emo Phillips, no.
Is that Harvey Keitel?
Really? All along?
It starts with you getting a radio transmission on your ship, and it says, "Oh, the demonic presence in the San Andreas Chasm is a little high. We need you to go. It's still 65% hellified, and we have the Hell Priest signal."
Okay.
And it says it all. And then when you're looking at Earth, there's a big pentagram where South America should be.
That's awesome.
So you go down.
So it's become hellified.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you're tracking down this one Hell Priest, of which there are 4, I believe. And you're pretty much trying to upset this ritual. But because it was a demo, I was just trying to get through as much as I could.
Sure.
And I spoke to Hugo in the middle of the demo, and they were saying a big thing they wanted to do with Doom Eternal was rethink how they thought about difficulty. So in Doom 2016, if you play on a higher difficulty, actual projectiles from the demons will travel, they'll be more accurate or travel faster.
Okay.
This game is, the demons will act exactly the same. You just have, like some games handle difficulty, there's less room for error, and they actually want you to go back and replay it because they feel as if with Doom 2016, they kind of did a more traditional, this will just travel much faster, it'll be harder to dodge, or this demon will seem more intelligent. But
they turn the dials up on everything.
Right. So they said they want you to actually be kind of... The game is teaching you the whole time, much like the other game, about how to... There's still a very core loop of, if you need health, do a glory kill. Mm-hmm. If you need ammo, do a chainsaw kill. Mm-hmm. If you need chainsaw fuel, it will be lying around. Or now they've added...
If you need chainsaw fuel, it's lying around. I like that third one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just everywhere.
Yeah. So now they've added a way to get armor by using the flame belch, which is the shoulder-mounted flamethrower. So if you light guys on fire, and if you do any damage to them, they'll start raining down armor. And if you kill them, they'll drop a bunch. So this is one of those games where I left this demo, and obviously...
Wait, you didn't finish your thought on the difficulty thing.
Oh, the difficulty thing was so I played on.
Sorry, I was very curious about what they said.
Yeah, you were.
Right.
Leading up to something.
So Hugo was comparing it to, and I saw Katie over at US Gamer. She had written an article based on like the similar conversation where he was trying to say, okay, you do different difficulties in Mario Kart. Of all games, they look to Mario Kart, like the higher
does.
CCs.
Yeah,
it's just it's the same game. It's just sped up.
Uh-huh.
So it's not. If you play the game enough, it shouldn't feel like it's actually more unfairly difficult. It's actually them just kind of trusting that you've gotten you think more quickly on your feet, because that's very much about what getting better in Doom Eternal felt like. By the end of the demo, after the 4 hours, I had this tool set of I could blood punch people, I had an ice bomb, I had a flame belch, I had a heavy cannon, and it was more muscle memory I was building. Like when I left the demo, it felt like I was still feeling the game rather than just thinking about it, which is a very rare. Again, maybe like the game gets shitty after the first 4 hours.
Right.
Who knows? But from the demo, I really enjoyed it. But
so, what did they do? Do you know how they did that?
So,
or did they say what the secret sauce was?
So, one thing that you notice from Doom 2016 is that not everybody, but vast majority of people pretty much default. They would find a weapon they liked, and they were able to get through the game by relying on that weapon. Yeah. And then when they ran out of ammo, they'd be like, okay, I guess I'll use the rocket launcher. Right. Most people use the super shotgun in 2016.
I mean, it's a good shotgun.
Right. It wasn't just the iconic aspect of it. It was actually better, they said. So this time around, and having played it, they seem to have done a good job. They are forcing you to use your entire tool set. I was almost always, after I killed like 3 people, I was almost low on ammo with each weapon. So I would go to chainsaw someone to get ammo, and it would rain down a ton of ammo. But of course, it would still be only like 60 bullets for this heavy cannon, which is like their assault rifle. And I was constantly, there's always something I could do to get out of this situation. Say I could, if my frags were on like recharging, I could switch to the ice bomb, which is on a different cooldown. Once they're frozen, I could do the flame belch because I need armor. But now this gun's out of ammo, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go glory kill this guy because my health is a little low. I'm going to switch to my auto shotgun because if I shoot a grenade, enemies also have specific weaknesses now. So the Caco Demon, if you shoot a grenade into his mouth, he'll swallow it. He'll burp and like smoke will come out, but that's an auto. He will automatically every single time be set up for a glory kill.
Oh, okay. So it almost stuns him.
Right. So I'm running around and then I see these. I forget the names. The demons with the miniguns for hands, pretty much. If you shoot their miniguns, there are weak points.
Brad would know this. I don't know.
Right. It's
Doom lore expert Brad Shoemaker.
Not the Pinky Demon.
Who could remember all these names? There's
an Arachnotron. Their turret on their back is their weak point. My point being is they really want you to be using the entire tool set, and it's not just that they're encouraging you, it's that I felt the need to. And I
like the sound of that.
I mean, that was the feel I got at the E3 demo too, which is very much like you have to learn the chaining rhythm of every combat encounter. Like you have to realize where everyone is, what you can do with each type of enemy, the best way to sort of maximize the output that you get from killing them.
It's playing on higher difficulties. I think they want you to go back through, and it's by saying I got better at Doom Eternal, what you mean, or I think what most people will mean, is I got into that flow state much more quickly.
I mean, it's the same thing you get in like a rhythm game, like in a Guitar Hero chart or something, where at a certain point, like it becomes less about having to read into individual note and more just like being like, okay, I see what that is, and just the muscle memory in your fingers just does it for you.
Right. And you would think with this vast array of, and I kind of only named a few, and I think the last weapon I unlocked was the super shotgun before they ended the demo, but Hugo also said they're like, on the surface, Doom, the games look like junk food. And in many ways they are. Like they're just like very satisfying to play. Everybody enjoys it. It might not be like award winning, like, or they're not trying to make it, but he's like, I
think they won a few awards.
Right, yeah. But like on the surface, if you just looked at it, but then he's like, what they wanted to do more so with Doom Eternal was make healthy junk food, which despite being an oxymoron, under the surface, there's actually a lot going on. And this was the case with Doom 2016, but it felt like there were a lot more moving parts beneath that surface in Eternal. And not just in the sense that Mahardy was also there, and they were both saying they didn't want to just add more, because Doom 2016, I don't envy them having to figure out how to build on that game, because it wasn't flawless, but it was a very, very tight game. And I don't think they needed to change it too much unless they were just actually trying to avoid it didn't do anything new thing.
Yeah.
But Doom Eternal, it took me a while to figure out what it was that I liked about it. Even in Doom 2016 and in a lot of shooters or just semi-difficult games that I'm playing, my objective is to stay at max health and max ammo all the time as long as I can help it. With this game, I would say 90% of the time, and that's not an exaggeration, I was at low health or low ammo. It wasn't about staying at peak health. It was about hovering at the bare minimum to keep moving and stay alive.
I feel like Wolfenstein feels like that a lot too.
Yeah, but even Wolfenstein sometimes felt to me like I could kind of like, if I had a lot of health, I could kind of pop around a corner, shoot a few people, and then like they might be flanking me. But Doom Eternal has that very much always be moving.
I also feel like neither of those Wolfenstein games, and I guess we can wrap Youngblood into that too if you want, but like none of those Wolfenstein games have ever felt like they had a flow to them as far as the combat went. It was very much about like seat of your pants, certainly, but like there isn't like a chaining rhythm to it the way that like Doom is very explicitly designed, or at least the last game was, and this one seems like it is building on way more. Like there is a designed flow for these games, whereas Wolfenstein is very much just like, don't die.
Wolfenstein felt like these like aberrations, where these moments of huge impact, and then it would kind of be like a pepper of stuff over here. But Doom consistently felt like it wasn't just that I was switching between weapons. I would run out of ammo for this specific mod, say the grenade launcher. So I see a Caco Demon. I'm like, shit, there are literally 25 other enemies around here. The Caco Demon is a threat, but I don't want to waste the ammo. I think I'll be better off shooting this Arachnotron's weak point, getting the chainsaw kill on him in order to get the ammo that I need to just later on leisurely go to my grenade launcher, kill the Caco Demon with one grenade as opposed to 40 heavy cannon bullets.
Right.
That's a lot. It's not going to take that much. But Hugo pointed out something that I didn't realize I was thinking. He's like, this is a game where we want you to know that you're going to die 30 seconds ahead of time. Because for most of the time, that's teaching you, what did I do wrong, or what am I consistently doing wrong for these 30 seconds before I get to that point of dying? And when I die, I'm like, okay, that was my fault. I saw it coming. Once you get better at the game, the thrill comes from knowing you're going to die if you don't do something, and then doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, Doom, and I'm seeing this a lot. I should mention, I was joking around about the exclusive stuff. If you can go watch plenty of footage on GameSpot, and Brad Shoemaker has
someone
footage.
yell at you between now and then.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of text messages.
Yeah.
You know, we do this show live.
Yeah,
it was me.
Brad Shoemaker has some words and video up on GiantBomb.com. So from what I've seen, it looks similar to the fugue state you can get into with Doom 2016 of just like, after 10 minutes staring down at your hands and they're full of blood and like, oh my gosh, what did I do? It's the difference between a combat arena and a combat puzzle, right? Where I feel like a lot of games like Wolfenstein you were mentioning is a combat arena. You walk in, they shut the doors, you're faced with waves of enemies, and I you take out the highest threat thing, or you do this. And I think in Doom, the sense I always got was like almost speed chess of you have to instantly decide what your tactic's going to be, who you're going to hit next because you need ammo or health, then turn to your right and do the thing you were going to do while you're thinking about what you're going to do next. And that flow was awesome in Doom, of chaining and bouncing and being one step ahead of what you're going to do. And then something like Wolfenstein was more like, get behind cover, eliminate this enemy, and then I'll think about what I'm going to do next while I figure it out.
Yeah, and there are more transitive verbs, I would say, in this game. It's not just kill this enemy or leave him stunned for a while. It's, oh, he's stunned, so I could go kill him for the health, or I could just leave him like that, or there's these two guys to my right that are on fire. Do I need armor, or do I just want to let them kind of burn for a little bit and then come back and kill them later? I just froze these guys. Do I want to launch my frag, which is off cooldown, into the middle of them to just crack them apart, or do I want to just leave them frozen for now while I go? I see a fuel can over there for my chainsaw. I am kind of low on the precision ammo for the ammo for my heavy cannon, which I can use to like precisely shoot these weak points. So it's not just about what I have at my disposal to survive. It's how do I want to whittle this mob down? It's like, yeah, it is very much a puzzle, but like condensed into like those like the Guy Ritchie Sherlock scenes where he's okay, disable the elbow here. Yeah. I don't know why you would disable someone's elbow. Break the wrist, turn around, throw the sand in this guy's face, and it reminds me of that. And it's again, it's a game that I felt, which doesn't always happen, and that was nice because like we're talking about Kentucky Route Zero. It's like that seems like it could get under my skin and something I think about a lot. But I left that demo and just for hours, and like even now, like I'm talking about it, I'm kind of getting back into that. What would I do if this Arachnotron was coming over here, like would I just try to get his weak spot with this scoped kill?
Constantly thinking about that Arachnotron.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the only demons I remember the name.
I was literally going to make a joke about Kentucky Route Zero, this being your Kentucky Route Zero as a game that you felt, and then you just did it for me. So thank you.
All right, Mike. It seems like you liked what you played. What a lot of people have been concerned, the folks at home, the nation, concerned about some of the platforming stuff. Did you feel like that was getting in the way? Is there a lot of it? Did it feel natural? Did it feel like something they put in there? That's a lot of questions for you. Answer them.
So I actually thought the platforming in Doom 2016 was one of the parts that I didn't like. I didn't mind the platforming this time around. It's not, correct me if I'm wrong, in Doom 2016, when you fall, if you like fall off a ledge into lava, I think there's lava in the first couple missions, doesn't it restart you to the last checkpoint? And that's why it felt so punishing?
It's only been 4 years, and my memory is very good.
I'm maybe don't quote me, but I'm fairly certain that it was much more punishing. In Doom Eternal, when you fall, it just kind of like it fades to black really quick and then puts you back. You lose health, but you're back where you started the jump for the most part.
And what do you thinking happened in 2016?
I think it actually set you back to the last checkpoint rather than the last platform you jumped off.
Okay.
I'm not sure, and it's possible that at least in the early goings of that game, I didn't really fall off anything. I mean, I know there's lava stuff later on too, but like I don't remember ever feeling like this is killing me.
Yeah.
What you playing on?
PC. It felt good on
Mouse and
controller.
keyboard?
I played mostly mouse and keyboard, yeah.
You're saying Eternal?
No,
Eternal,
Okay.
yeah. But it did feel good on controller as well. But I didn't mind the platform. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was a nice change of pace because it was going from a combat puzzle to environmental puzzle, and none of them were crazy hard to solve, but it was still a nice like bookend to this short story of a fight I just went through.
But it didn't feel like platforming crammed into a first-person game.
No, I don't think so.
They make it work?
Yeah, because then you start to see the platforming and the combat flow together, and when you get better at the platforming and you learn the platforming when there's no enemies, then you'll trigger this just much like 2016, even more so than 2016, there are a lot of upgrades and collectibles to get. Once you start going for those, you'll be doing these platforming puzzles where they'll start introducing enemies. Like I remember there's one time it's like you have 20 seconds to kill these 2 cacodemons. The catch being they're floating over this really wide abyss. So you're going to have to use your double jump and your dash.
Which, right, yes. What I saw from Brad's footage is you get a double jump, dash, and then you can get things that reset your double
You get abilities
jump
that
dash.
can, I think it's only if you get a glory kill, and I had gotten that. But even without that, you could do the double jump, dash, and maybe get a grenade into one of the cacodemons' mouths. So then when you get to the other side and jump back, you get the glory kill on him. And I just barely got it, but I felt that the platforming, and again, only based on the first 4 hours, toward the end of my demo, it felt as if they were kind of weaving those two schools together, which would be cool if they do that throughout the rest of the game.
Well, like as long as they're designing that stuff to not be a precision platforming experience crammed into what is not a precision platforming game, right?
Yeah.
That's where that stuff falls apart. It's what Turok was horrible about.
Yeah.
Like, trying to look down at your feet so you land on a platform kind of
Oh,
thing.
I never felt like I was doing that. It felt fairly precise.
Okay.
I do remember a couple times there were a few of these like low consequence environmental puzzles. Like if I fell, I just had to go back up and restart, and that hurt the pacing a little bit because I would be like, I forgot. Like I would do the double jump and then be like, I should have done the dash at not at the height of my jump, but at the bottom of my jump, because if I did at the height of my arc, I'm not going to grab this. I don't even remember if these were in 2016, but they have those like typical like Uncharted or Assassin's Creed horizontal bars that you grab with your hands to swing. They introduced
I saw
those
that in some of the footage. I don't know if that was in 2016. Also, there's like a wall climb where you smash your hands into the wall.
Oh no, yeah. There's entire like there's certain walls you could see, and it'll be like, you press E or whatever that would be on a controller to dig in, and then you just climb.
Right.
And then
Some
they
of those
introduce
soft
those
walls.
Well, it's the Doom guy.
Soft hell walls?
He's got hard hands.
But then again, like the Super Shotgun has that grappling hook on the bottom now, and it felt to me as if I was getting better at the combat because I was getting better at the platforming. I don't know that I would say vice versa, but it was being able to jump to a cacodemon who's super far away, get the glory kill, recharge my dash, and then get to this pretty high platform.
All while you're in the air.
Which might have chainsaw fuel up there. Or it's just a good spot from which to use my precision bullets on my heavy cannon to hit that Arachnotron's weak point.
Love the Arachnotron.
So it all felt of a piece to me. It didn't feel like anything, despite the fact that they added a lot, it didn't feel bloated.
Okay. The traversal feels part of the game.
Yeah.
Great. I'm excited for this game. It is coming out March
20th with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, the two great tastes that go great together.
Eventually, maybe those two games will combine.
They'll swap places.
Yeah.
The Doom guy in Animal Crossing.
Well, so I think
Did you know the animals are demons? It's going to be a monster.
No, that's just Tom Nook.
Tom Nook is a demon.
I think I saw a story that someone had asked Hugo or someone else on the team if Nintendo had ever had any serious discussions about Doom Guy in Smash. And I think they were like, yeah, we talked about it, but it was not in any serious terms. Like, it has never actually been, like, in any developed conversation, but, like...
Yeah, maybe that's if Doom Guy doesn't belong in.
It'd be pretty... Well, I don't know. They shove, like, a Solid Snake in there, but he's a little...
Solid Snake can turn it on when he has to.
It would be pretty good if Doom Guy was, like, the match starts and Doom Guy just
kills everyone.
Rips, like, Mario in half, and everybody just stops.
Hi, wrong game. You're at our house right now.
Not what we're doing
everybody
here.
Stops, like, like, Pac-Man's just crying.
He's not coming to the next part.
But he rips him open and just like confetti comes out. Like there's no actual like guts or anything.
Yes,
it's Mario. He's not anatomically correct. He's just full of sunshine and rainbows and sprinkles.
But the confetti is slowly like going down Doom Guy's face in a way that is like,
and he's like smiling in a way that's very uncomfortable.
He licks a piece of confetti off his like kind of his lip and is like,
and all Luigi can say is, "Oh no!"
And it's just like you see like the boom come down in like in the scene, just like, okay, everybody, okay, all right, we're gonna get past this. We're gonna be fine. Unclone another Mario. We're gonna be all right.
Take 5. Get a soda.
Yeah,
everybody. Doom Guy, come here. Come here.
We gotta talk about this.
Here. We got
giving me like you're giving me this kind of like Scorsese vibe.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is be more of like
it's
I don't
fun.
know.
We're fun. You got the invite. We're all having fun here.
Animal House. Give me that.
Look at this guy. That gorilla. He's funny. Look at him. He's beating his chest. He swings. That's a lot of fun, right?
No. Don't point your shotgun at him. Don't point your shotgun. No. He's not a demon. Don't. Doom Guy, buddy, boobala. Come on.
Just Ridley by the like cater craft services card, kind of drinking half.
Oh god.
Yes, that should happen.
Anyway,
right?
so yes, they should do this.
One other thing that seems like a big push in this game. Obviously, they had all the audio logs and journal entries in the first game, which were really well written.
Samuel Hayden.
Yes,
Hayden.
and what was her name? Olivia Pierce. I almost said Alana. That's a real person.
Pierce in that game?
Yeah, Olivia Pierce, I believe, was the other like
villain
that you were kind of tracking down.
That's right. Yeah.
They are going harder on story, which was worrying to me because I liked how Doom was like kind of anti-story.
I don't know. There was a lot of story if you went into all the logs.
But the story
it was there if you dug for it.
Yeah.
Now they have, I don't want to say much more frequent cutscenes.
Oh wow!
I will say, and Hugo and Marty both told me they're like by and large, maybe like 95% of them will only ever be under 60 seconds. But I came across this other like NPC who was connected to Doom Guy's past. They had all those audio logs and those journal entries, and I read a couple of them, and I would have read more of them if I wasn't at a demo trying to get as far in the game as possible. But they did say they're like, we want to introduce story, but not in a way that's going to interfere with people who don't want it. Having played it those cutscenes never felt to me like they were getting in the way. In fact, they were kind of like nice to cool down.
Does it work though? So that's the question I have, is that like part of the reason the story of Doom 2016 worked for me is that it was a story that was explicitly designed to make fun of itself and all things Doom. It was a story about a fucking anonymous dipshit metalhead who fucking kills everything and becomes a worshipped icon because of it.
It felt... The one that I always think of with that game was the chainsaw entry. It's like, who the fuck brought a chainsaw into the space station? And it's like, it's talking about how it's contraband, and that's it. They're kind of like making fun of how people try to contextualize things. I don't know. It's hard to say because I was trying to fly through stuff for the demo.
Like, I'm just not personally interested in Doom Guy lore. Like, to me, he is a sentient fucking drop D guitar riff, and that's all I need. I don't need to know more about him.
So now there's this whole like faction called the Sentinels that I believe he was part of or connected to, and you see others, and you see the remains of this war on Earth, and the puzzles involve these giant mechs that are like kind of decrepit now.
Okay.
And some of the Hell Priests you come across like know you, and you can read that each of their lore entries has like an actual character bio.
As long as the Hell guy or the Doom guy doesn't care, because that was the fun part.
Yeah, Doom guy should not give a shit about anything except killing Hell.
Oh, he doesn't care. He
crushing the stones.
Yeah,
or whatever
he runs into someone else that was like tangentially connected to what he does, and the guy. it was kind of funny. It seemed to me like this guy was about to deliver this like soliloquy, but Doom guy just starts walking away. He's like, all right, whatever.
That's
and then
exactly
that's correct.
Yeah. And again, like that's something I don't know that I could speak to because I was kind of rushing through the demo.
Right.
This will be my last question. Do you keep your upgrades from 2016? Is he kind of decked out with health and?
I mean, not the same specific ones, but he's definitely. I felt more powerful at the beginning of this game than it did in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. But there are a lot more. There's a whole nother layer. I forget what they're called, but there's not just Praetor suit upgrades and not just weapon mods and the upgrades for them. There's an entire like perk tree now.
Okay.
Which is separate from those other two, and that's where it's like, oh, you can recharge this dash ability if you kill a demon,
it's a perk.
It's like this like 6x6 table of perks or something like that. And those are more if you can synergize like two of them that if they're next to if you get two, they're next to each other, it'll synergize them. So like you'll increase your max ammo, but your ammo will also do more damage to enemies. Like it'll get them to glory kill status more quickly. And this is all hypothetical, but that's kind of they want you to start thinking about how you can combine them.
I gotcha. It's like when you build out an XCOM 1. You know, you got to put
exactly.
You got to put your labs near each other.
Maybe you want to go hybrid. Maybe you want to min-max your Doom guy. I'm joking. They never said that. But
Mike, is there anything else you want to say before we move on? It sounds and looks fun. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. That's probably. I mean, it's not just my next most anticipated game. To me, it feels like that's the next game coming out.
You've got a video up on GameSpot now, and there's a few videos up on GameSpot, but you've got one where you talk to Ashley about some Doom Eternal. We've got a video up where Brad and Jeff talk some Doom Eternal. You should go check that out.